Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I redid these 3 glass containers from Pop Shelf. So the first thing I did, which I didn't show on camera, was I took some acetate and I cleaned off the pickleball graphic that they had on these. These were originally $5 and they were 90% off. So I got each one for 50 cents. And then I just cut out some vinyl on my Cricut. This one here says Sweet Tea and Jesus. And I measured 4 inches for the cup for my graphic. So each of my graphics were up to 4 inches tall. And that's how tall. The cup is about 4.5 inches or so, maybe 5 inches total. It is glass. It has a bamboo lid and then a pink straw with it. And the glass containers are tinted pink, except for one of them, which when I first brought it home, I didn't realize I could use acetate to take off the graphic, and I was scraping it off with a razor blade, which scraped the pink off. So one of mine, the last one that you see, is clear because I scraped off all the pink on it, and boy, was that very time consuming. So I'm glad that I figured out that the acetate would take off the graphic that was already on these. Again, like I said, I got them at Pop Shelf 90% off. They had a graphic about pickleball on them. They had, so I bought 10 of them actually. I'm just going to show you 3 of them that I'm doing. And I'm going to sell these at craft fair. And I think I'll sell them for $5, which was their original price. But hopefully with taking off the pickleball graphic and then putting on my own graphics, maybe they'll sell. I hope so. Anyway, that is my plan. So the Sweet Tea and Jesus is made out, is cut out of a kind of bronzy matte vinyl, and the end is cut out of a turquoise shiny vinyl. So I just laid my contact paper, clear contact paper, down on top of my graphic there. And now I turned it over and I'm peeling the backer off of my graphic. Now there's probably a better way of doing this where you put the 2 pieces together. But this is just how I did it. Once I got it on there, then I was going to do it this way, and I'm like, nah, you know what? This is going to stick to my board there, and it's not going to be good, so I don't want to do that. So what I did is I took my scissors and I trimmed down the contact paper that my graphic was on. Now you can certainly use transfer tape. I just had this contact paper and I had used it before, so I'm just going to use it again. So I put it on my and one, and then I burnish it down, which really I should have used this scraper tool instead, but there I go. I remembered finally. And then I'm just going to peel it up off, the whole thing up off of my mat. And then I'm going to cut it down to size. I mean, you probably don't need to cut it down, but for easy handling, I felt like it was better for me to cut it down. And then I'm just going to place it face down on my mat and then peel off the backer. I find that's the easiest way to do it. And I did have a little bit of issues getting this to stick to my my, oh, now I can't think of the name of it, contact paper. So I did burnish it down a little bit more with my scraper tool there. And then I started peeling it off again. Sometimes you have to hold the edges of the vinyl with your fingernail. You can also use your pokey tool to hold it down. Just don't poke it. So this one was giving me a little bit of trouble. But just continue on and then you'll get through it. It's not the easiest thing to do sometimes. You saw the other part was really easy. I don't know if it was because this was the shiny vinyl or what, I don't know. But anyway. And there I was just pushing out any bubbles that was in it. And then I'm going to get this up off of my mat. Pretty sticky mat. So there it is, my and in turquoise. There's my sweet tea and the Jesus in the bronze. Now I'm just using these two little pieces of board here, and I don't know what happened to my camera, but just to hold my jar in place, my container in place. Like I said, these are glass. So I just sprayed it with some 91% alcohol. You can use 70% alcohol. 91 is just what I have because I use it for resin. And I'm just going to wipe down the jar because it did have fingerprints on it. It had a little bit of the acetate stuff left on it too, and then a little bit of the black from the graphic that was on it. So I got all that off and it's nice and clean. And now I'm going to add my vinyl. So I'm going to add my sweet tea and Jesus on there first, of course. And I'm just going to press it down with my fingers, and then I'm going to use the scraper tool there to press it down a little bit better. And then I'm just going to peel back my contact paper. And it comes off pretty well. And it leaves my vinyl on the container. So that went well. So there's my sweet tea and the Jesus. And I use these boards to hold the glass piece steady so it's not moving. So here's my and then I realized, oh, I got that upside down. So I had to turn it. And then I'm just going to put it in between the tea and the Jesus. And thank you, Jesus, for sweet tea because it is good. But I read my Bible each morning. I'm trying to get through a whole year of reading the whole Bible. A year of reading the whole Bible in chronological order. So there it is, sweet tea and Jesus. I think this one turned out really good. I really like it. You'll have to let me know what you think of it in the comments. And now I'm going to go on to the next one. And what I have is this bright green matte vinyl. And I've already cut it out on my Cricut. And you can see how easy that comes off. That came off really good. And so it is 4 inches high, but it almost wraps around the whole container. And you'll see that in a little bit. So this one says, iced coffee and Jesus. I don't really drink iced coffee. You'll have to let me know what you like better. Do you like iced tea or iced coffee? I'm an iced tea kind of girl. But you'll have to let me know what you like. I know my son drinks iced coffee. But I know he also drinks sweet tea too. So there it is. It's pretty big. And then again, I'm just going to use my clear contact paper. And I'm going to use my scraper tool to, burnish it on to my contact paper. And then I'm just going to pull it up off of my mat, which I could have turned it over and pulled the mat up off of it, but I didn't. And then I'm going to lay it down face down on my mat, and then I'm going to peel off the background. Look how quickly that worked. That one was like, wow. Yeah, I mean, it came off the backer sheet very good. It went on the vinyl very good. It weeded very good. I mean, wow. So here's another one of the containers, and I'm going to spritz it with my 91% alcohol, which again, like I said, you could use 70%. We're just cleaning this off, and I'm just taking a piece of paper towel, and I'm going to wipe the whole thing. But as you can see, the top portion of the cup is wooden. It is bamboo. And then you got your pink straw. And then the cup itself has pink on it. So I'm going to stand up for this. And I'm going to try to place it on there pretty straight in the middle. And I'm just going to take my fingers there and press it down. Now I got to use my scraper tool there to burnish it onto my glass. Did I have to, yeah, I had to hold the eye down. It didn't want to stick. But I mean, sometimes that happens. And then you just press it down. And then if you kind of work your transfer tape, kind of at an angle and then go in on the other angle and all, I think it works a little bit better than just pulling it straight off. So I did have to hold the letters down a little bit there. Use my scraper tool a little bit more. Burnish that onto my glass cup there. Pulling it slowly but surely. Trying to get it off without taking my letters with it. Using my burnishing tool some more. Or scraper tool, whatever you want to call it. And then just working it back and forth at an angle, trying to get it off there. And there we go. So this one is Iced Coffee and Jesus. The other one was Sweet Tea and Jesus. So there is cup number 2. And now for cup number 3. So I have this vinyl here, and it's a black background, and it has different colored polka dots on it, gold and white, and I don't know what other color, maybe yellow or something, I don't know. So it weeded pretty well. except for my little dot. There were two little dots there, and one of them worked. And in fact, I had to go find the other dot. It was stuck on my cutting tool on the Cricut. So if that ever happens and you're missing a dot, look on the tip of your cutting tool because it might be there. That's where I found it. So it came off pretty easily. And then I'm just going to go ahead and weed it. And this says, "My soul thirsts for God." And that's in Psalms. Psalms 42:2. And I didn't want to use the dot there where it says "My soul thirsts for God" and it had a period. I didn't want to use that on my cup, so I just took it off. I was looking for the inside of that R there. I don't know where it went. Sometimes that happens. I had to reposition my P. And then I think that little spot right there was the inside of the R. But my soul thirsts for God. Psalm 42:2. And then I'm just going to take again my clear contact paper, and I'm going to put that on top of my graphic there. And then I'm going to burnish it down with my scraper tool. And this is just one of those scraper tools that I got from Dollar Tree. Once I get that on there, then I'm going to actually turn the whole thing, the whole cutting mat and everything upside down. And then I'm going to peel the mat up off of my graphic. And then I'm going to peel the backer sheet off. And it came off pretty well, pretty easily. Yep, there it is. And now I need to clean my cup. So get out my two boards to put my cup in between. Well, first of all, I'm going to use my alcohol. I'm going to spray that on my cup. And like I said, this cup here is the one that I ended up scraping the graphic and the pink glaze or whatever it was on it off with a razor blade. So I'm just cleaning it with the alcohol. And I'm going to lay it between those two little boards there so it'll be, it won't move around. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to place this right on my container. And I'm going to use my scraper tool to stick my vinyl onto my glass. And then I'm just going to pull off the contact paper. And if I have any bubbles in the vinyl that's on there, then I just rub it down with my finger or fingernail. That little dot didn't want to stay. It's the one that ended up on my cutter tool. Okay, so there it is. My soul thirsts for God. Psalms 42:2. And you'll have to let me know which of these three you like the best. The one I like the best is Sweet Tea and Jesus. But let me know in the comments which one you like the best. Here's the Sweet Tea and Jesus. Yeah, I really like that one. And then Iced Coffee and Jesus. And then My Soul Thirst for God. Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And, you know, if you have anything to say about the craft here, please feel free to put it in a comment. I would love to hear from you. Bye.